Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, good. We will start now. Yeah. Right.
𝘰𝘠𝗪𝗔.
All right, great. We loosen a little bit. Yeah. Take it to the side. Take it to a rotation. Take it open and closing. Great, keep a nice deep breath in, get the arms out to the side, up over the top, just let them around the centre line, curl the spine all the way down, let the arms hang heavy, head and neck relax, shoulders relax, so loosen out the spine a little bit, the bottom. When you're ready to come up, just do it in your own time. Take a nasty breath in. And just follow down the center line. Spine curls all the way from the top, all the way down. Good. Okay, just draw yourself back to center, standing. When you're ready, take it into the shoulders. And change. The arms out, rolling the shoulders front and back. Just placing the hands just by the hip, just think about opening out the shoulder blade, spreading the wings of the foot. Release it back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open out, elbows straight away from each other. Squeeze into the back. Okay. Opening up that kind of diving forwards into a pull. Curl the upper spine. Shoulders round, back round. And pull the arms back. Open out. That's the back. Oh, diving forwards. Open out back. One more time forwards. And open out. Okay. Rolling out the elbows. And change. And the wrists. And change. Good. Curve the shoulder. You can do the elbow, the chest. Ultimately onto the back, release the hips. Coming back to center. Rolling the hips. And change. Bend the knees. Stretching the back. And circles. And change direction. Right, let's let yourself come down. And go back to the heels. Use the hands, press a little bit of weight into them, just work the toes a little bit. Yeah. Great. Let's find the hands, put them a little bit further out. Pull the legs long. Lengthen up through the spine and the back of the legs. Let the arms slowly travel back to the toes and the feet. Keep that length through the body. Just trace up the shin bone all the way up to the knee. Just stop at the knee here. Slight bend in the knee and the knees. Just roll the spine, cat-cow, exit, bending and curling. Great. And just step up a little bit wider. Drop the weight in to the shoulders, into the legs. Just release the shoulder each way, pushing the knee. Lengthening the spine. Right, loosen up the legs. Good. Just find the center, let the hands come down. Anchor the body with the feet. Find the shin bone, pull the back along. Bring yourself up to standing. Keep that kind of wide position. You might want to come a little bit shorter, but just stay standing. We're going to still pick up the hip hinges, so just chop the hips back and reach. Arms forward, lengthen through. Just pull yourself out of it. Reach the hips back, hands forward, and pull yourself out. Using the pressure on the ground. And you can think of either pulling the ground this way or pushing the ground away. So reach, pull back, reach, and pull back. And not letting the knees come forward at all, just letting the hips inch back. Push. Good. Next, I'm just going to hold. Find that position. Nice deep breath in. You do it. Just a few deep breaths in and out. Okay, the next out breath. Keep the hips where they are. Let the hands raise. Palms up to the ceiling. One more deep breath. Next breath out, let the hands come to the ground and the upper spine really curls in this one. Lengthen the arms out a little bit in front of you. Not so much weight in the hands. So we're going to go take this into a windmill. So just trace the arm up, open up the spine, reach up, hold it a couple of seconds and then drop it back down. Change sides each time. Keeping the hips back, knees unlocked. Open up the upper spine. Great, just the last one. Find the center, find the hands again, find the feet nice, strongly grounded. Pull yourself up to the shin. And we're just going to take it one more position to the back. Spread the arms wide. Keep the hips back. Nice deep breath in. One more deep breath. As you release it, pull the body back up to standing slowly. Bring the legs back together. Shake off the tension from the hips and the legs. We'll do one more pose, which is the archer pose. So we'll do it like this. You go quite a long position, a longer lunge position. Hips square on, and both feet pointing forwards, always the kind of same. Keep the knee back in this one. So in this one, there's no hinge of the body. The body's just kind of straight up. So the first thing, just get the hands out in front. Just find that position. Hips square, weights equal 50-50, both feet. Just a couple of deep breaths here. Okay, so you're gonna spread the hands. Open forwards. Rotate, in this case, my opposite hand, so my right hand is going to find the middle of the left palm. Okay, you're going to trace the arm back, twist the thumb back down towards the shoulder, but do it from the hip. Okay, so this is the whole bit, without hinging the body forward. So maintaining that vertical hinge, open, spread the body like you're really pulling your bow up. And try and not let the back foot adjust out to the back this way, just let the hip pull and open. Find the shoulder. In this case, the hand's kind of just by the jawbone, somewhere around that. And then keep that position, hold it one deep breath in. And on the out breath, let the hip fire the arm back, down, forwards. We'll just do a few here. So you find the thumb in the palm and then pull it back with the hip. Lengthen through, and the elbows pulling away from the front fingers. Pulling, pulling, pulling. Deep breath in, and then release it back. I'll do one more. Deep breath as you do it. It bleeds the motion. Elbow spreads from fingertips. Body's nice and vertical, lengthening up through the motion. And bring it back. Good. We'll do the opposite side now. So you're going to go with the right hand. Left thumb is going to do it. But before we do this, you're going to do a little bit of a hinge in this one. So you find this position, hinge into the front hip this way. And then you're going to again splay the fingers. You don't want too much of a hinge. You don't want to be leaning forward too much. That you're going to take the left thumb in the right hand. And you do the same thing. This is a closing of the hip now. So this hip's going to close as you drag the arm that way. So the more you hinge, the easier this is to get the hip to close. But just play the same idea. Roll the hand forwards. Find the center of the palm. Hip leads it, which is a trickier motion, this one. So the hip's closing, 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 closing. Again, elbow stretches away from the fingertips. Take a deep breath as you find that position, and then breathe it forwards. Do one more. Let the body go long as it hinges. Back. Good. Just find the center point again. Pull the body up tall. Let the hips kind of float off the legs. Just bring the arms down. Ready the other side. So you've got a normal archer position, and you've got a reverse archer position. So just find that long lunge position. Hips square, back foot straight. Weights 50-50. Again, keeping the spine long. Reach out with the hands. So you're going to do now, splay the fingers. Left hand goes into a right, and this is going across the body. Back hip opens up the movement. Find that long position. Nice deep breath in. And as you release the breath, let the hands come back forwards. Great. And no hinge in this one, just the body's vertical. Elbow reaches away from the fingertips. And one more time. Good. Refine that sphere of tension in the front, and then you're going to bring the hip into a little subtle hinge forwards. Good. And then we do the opposite side. So you take the right thumb down to the left, and let the right hip close as you draw the bow open. That's it. Nice. Again, elbows pull away from fingertips. Stretch the whole body out. And as you release it, release the hip. And keep the hinge. One more time. And find that sphere of tension. Still in the hinge, pull the body back up long. Weight back 50-50 totally. And then just release the arms out. Shake out the legs a little bit. Shake out the hands, just spread them a little bit. Shake them out. And roll the arms out. the legs. Shake out the whole body. Okie dokie. Great, we will do okay. So we were we got the 7th. Let's see. So we only got to number 2 yesterday, so we'll try and go a little bit further in the set of 7. I'll do a talk less. We're gonna just go into the first 𝗧𝗪𝗧. So just take your time with it. Just find that 50-50 stance, fully in the back leg, and then spread evenly into the curve. Nice, full, big movement. Grounding the body all the time. Good. Okay. So just play now with one movement. One thing's happened a little bit with some of you. Watch that you don't slow the movement down yet, and then try and speed it up. So it's something from the base as well. I kind of get that position and then drag it up, and then I kind of do it. Just allows that to jerk and release the sword, right? So that release the sword, and then try and find like a normal kind of cutting speed now. So it's not you're not in a rush to do it, but you don't want to kind of do those kind of things. So don't split the movement up basically. Do this now just to really do as one motion. So find a kind of normal, regular, or natural cutting speed, which basically comes from the weapon. You're gonna allow the weapon to just beat into the ground basically. And I'm just kind of joining behind it. I don't want to strangle the weapon as I go. And then do it. So just let the weapon go, basically. Yeah, nice. Okay, great. Good. We'll take it to number 2. So just take your time with this one. Come up to the top, and that 𝘱𝘰𝘬𝘬𝗀, release, and then find the cut. And then come back. Move it back. And you can really let the sword distend through that cut as the weight comes in. Okay, good. Just play with one exercise for the hip. So it's like this. Just forget about the sword for now. Just focus on this hip. So this hip's really important for this movement. So these archer poses that we do with the foundation stuff, they're really kind of linked to this. But the key movement here, one is the opening back. So this hip opening and then rolling back, and then here the closing of the hip here. So just play with this motion here as you go into this. You've got a ton of options if you think about it to get up, to get through this movement, just to get through it. The first one is I go over the top of the hip and then do it. The other one that happens a lot is that I go around the hip this way. So that the hip never really does anything. It stays in place and then I just go over the top of it, or I go around it this way. Yeah. But see if you can find the one where the hip really releases and you can really just press. You can pass the body through it like a really a straight line. So, but the hip needs to be over. Most of us we get to that position, we feel like shit, the hip's locked. So I do all these compensations just to get around it, and I do it fast and I just pass through it. But do this really slow in a sense. In the case where you can feel the hip really needs to. If I'm to go forwards, it needs to release to let the weight kind of pass through it. So just play with this kind of. No, that's it. The best thing is like really do it slow and just feel like that. The hip really shouldn't have a choice, it just needs to open. So like don't give it a choice. Like relax or comply. The hip needs to comply, which means it needs to soften, basically. Right. Yeah, good. So I can really tell the hip to release, and it won't, right? It won't release if the foot's not if I'm not really balanced, right? So notice this: if I've got any kind of tension or imbalance in the body, this goes and the toes start to grip into the ground as I pass weight through it, and then the hip automatically is going to lock, right? Because it's trying to find stability as you pass the body through. So the only way I can really do that is the sense that the weight falls through the leg, right? So really get a sense that as you're going now, that the weight, as you shift the weight over, is draining through the leg and into the ground. So imagine you're kind of the best thing with this is if you feel like you're standing on a stake in the ground, right, and your foot's just placed on it. Your only option in that case is to find balance, is to go straight through it, right? Is to let the weight drain straight through the center. You can't go either way because the body will not find the ground. So allow the foot to find that point in the ground, that kind of stake in the ground, in a sense, and just let the weight release down into it. And then the hip has a chance that it can kind of soften and open. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Nice. Good, good. Nice. And definitely in this one, don't look down, right? So if you look down, you're going to fall. If you imagine you're going to say, whoa, shit, whoa, the body's going to follow, right? So if you look down at the foot, you will, unless you have super good, oh, you can have really good balance and do it. Most people, they're really good, they break all the rules all the time, but I don't have those abilities, so I need to. That's it. Yeah, good. Right, great. Okay, great. Go back to we'll go back into the second 𝗧𝗪𝗡. So you got those two positions, you got this kind of opening of the hip, right, and then this closing down of the hip as you pass through, and then you resettle. So just focus on that kind of shift of the way through, and I really need to find the ground here. And this is where the finding of the back with the sword, or the finding of the spine with the sword, also helps that motion, because in that dynamic movement, you're finding this kind of vertical line, and then you're passing through it. So allow yourself. Okay, we're just looking at number 2, second 𝗧𝗪𝗡 with double kin. That's nice. We'll look at one point. This is a really subtle detail, right? But you need to shift the weight on the feet. Now notice what most of us do is this. When we do the movement, you're in 50-50, it's all fine. And then just before I go, I do this. I let the body kind of fall forward, press into the foot, and then pushes me back, right? You need to do this in a sense, but that movement needs to be imperceptible. You can't show that movement. So think you're in a fight. We're talking about, so keep talking about self-defense all the time now, which I don't really want to talk about. Notice you have someone that's really prepared. They're going to load onto the back leg, right, to go for an attack, but they're not going to show it. So if they're really skilled, they won't show the shift. They won't show that they're going to shift before they attack. Someone that's untrained will do a big shift and then do it, right? So that's what you're looking for when someone attacks you, right? And that's what you're looking for as an attacker, as a kind of predator in this case, not to show that. So that shift needs to be like imperceptible. You need to do it, but you can't show it, right? So that means I can't do that. That's a sign that I'm going to move. So try and do it in a sense where you've got the ground, that shift hat, and you just kind of press into it and move. Now it's not about speed, it's about just slightly shifting the weight and pressing the body back. There's a really great Japanese swordsman that can do this, and he has people actually touch his foot as he does it, and they can't tell that he's shifting weight into it. But he can shift the weight into the foot without changing the quality of the foot. So he can really do it, and he can show it. I'll try and find the video and send it you all. But there's an imperceptible shift, which is basically not giving a signal that you're about to move.
See you later.
Bye. See you soon. So just moving basically. Okay, good. So play with this also a little bit. We'll go into 4. So just look at number 4. So you've got the back, this, and the same thing. You need to shift the weight into the leg, but I need to do it in the motion, right? So a lot of us kind of prepare the leg and then go into it. So just allow yourself to really, in this case, shift forwards the weight and that. Now the key thing is not really the cut in this case, just the initiation of the movement. So find the ground, shift and move. That shift and move. Wow, try it. Yeah, that's. So 4's a kind of nice simple one because you're still working 𝘱𝘰𝘦𝘦𝘥. You just let the hip pass through. Yeah, good. Yeah, great. Good. So this is one issue, is like moving from stillness, basically. That's always kind of central issue. The other one in this cut, which you see a lot, is kind of moving out of tension, right? Or removing the tension. So you're in a kind of tension position, right, with the cut. Now, if I'm really tensioned and over tensioned, I need to do a lot of work to release the arms to allow me to raise the sword, right? So going from tension to this kind of release quality. So try and feel that there's also a release in the cut as well. So you cut, yes, tension in the hands, but feel that the arms are actually still relaxed, right? You've got that tension in the hands, tension in the abdomen, but the shoulders should be free to just move out of that position. So just look for the transition, or just explore this kind of transition from this tensioned engaged movement to, I'm in that position, I need to really release the shoulder a lot. So just see if you can find that kind of, there's a kind of, there's release in tension, there's tension and release. This is the kind of thing, but you're doing one more than the other. In the case of the cut, you're more tensioned, and in the case of the movement, you're more released. But there's a little bit of both. But the main one is just look at this the release from the cut, basically. Oh. That's nice. Nice. Good. Very good. Okay, great. We'll take it to 5. So again, it's just really an extension of all that work, but you with the added quality now that you're taking into your 𝘠𝑦𝘪𝑐, and really now one movement. So the release and the cut. Here's one thing, really. So the raise of the sword, the drain, yeah, all one motion. Very nice. Okay, just play with one exercise, which is just a strike. So you're going to just use a kind of slight hook punch, just from the back foot, backhand. You go in, just that, and then reset. You can change sides each time, or you can lose the sword if it's getting in the way. But just for the backhand, back foot, go together, and then roll. Back foot, backhand, together. Back foot, backhand, together. Change it. Back foot, backhand, just together. Just give it a try. So it's just a slight hook punch. It's got a slight rotation to it. So you can do this straight through. That would be more like working in 𝘱𝘰𝘪𝘩𝘦 work. Fine. Look for, let the hip just slightly arc the arm up. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, so if you think about this in terms of time, you've got three options, right? I'll show you that the three options, like I can, the weight goes in the fist, right? The fist goes out, and then I land the feet, right? The second option is they arrive together, right? Foot and hand. And the third option is that I arrive with the feet, and then the punch comes in, right? For stability, for balance, the third one's actually the best, right? Because I'm in the ground, I arrive, and then I can press weight into it, right? I can press to it. If I can get away with that one, I will. If the person's totally like, wasted, I will get close, and then boom, I'm going to strike them with like this, right? The first one's really the one I want to avoid because I'm totally out of balance before I arrive. Now, it's not a bad way of delivering power. If you think about it, I can just throw my body at the person. It's a good way of delivering my weight, right? I can just collapse my body into them. That it will take them out, right? I just don't have a second movement. So, but it's somewhere between the third and the second one, right? The second one is not ideal because I don't want to kind of lock the body together. Lock the body together. Lock the body together. So it's something in the third one where third and the second, the weight arrives, the weight's already here, and the weight's going to arrive with the front leg. Right? The key thing is don't wait for the back leg to arrive and then strike with it, right? Again, you can get away with this, but if the person's switched on, they're going to adjust or move or whatever, right? So if you think about with the swords you do it, just explore it. It's just an issue of timing, where I deliver the weight. I can do it the sword. I can do it the body right, or I can do it in a sense where it's coordinated together, but the weight's kind of arriving with the front leg, with the attack, right? Hello, is it better? Serena, you can try this. Wow, like this. So just like you can use the fist, you can use the bokken. It's the same issue. It's just an issue of timing, which is like when does the weight actually arrive? Now in this case with the 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝘬𝑐, it's like as I step actually, but it's like as the step, boom, the weight's there behind the strike. The main issue with the 𝘥𝘰𝘦𝑬 is we tend to wait for the back foot to arrive, so it looks like something like this. And then I apply power. And then I apply power. Now that's exaggerated, but see if you can find something where the weight just lands as you step, basically. So when does the weight arrive in the strike? Nice. And you can do it with a push, you can do it with a punch, any real kind of striking motion, or any force coming outside the body, out from the body. Yeah, nice. Nice. Okay, great. We'll just finish with number 6, and we'll come back to this kind of point of this kind of shift of the weight, which needs to be like imperceptible. This comes now in this 𝗔𝗞𝗞𝗚𝗏. So 6, I find the strike, and then I shift the weight into the back leg and press forward with it. Now that shift of the weight to press forward needs to basically come together. But just look at that motion as you do it. It works on both sides. the shift is going to come in the back leg, right? So the weight shift is the back leg, but you don't want to make that, you don't want to make a big tail basically, which is like, and then I go. So you want the preparation to be there in that movement. So it's there, the weight's there, and then whoa, you press out. The thing that you want to make, basically in solo, it's like I want to make the movement as clean as possible. So anything that's going to kind of, all this stuff I don't want. So I just want to find the ground and move basically. But the implications of this are quite big in terms of interacting with someone else, especially in a life or death situation. Right. That's it. Great. Good. Okay, this is a little bit off topic, but not really. But if you watch Koryu demonstrations in Japan, and like I sometimes do, just out of curiosity, you'll notice one thing. Sometimes in the school they do this really interesting thing, which I call it creeping foot. So the footwork's like creeping, right? So they're at a distance where they're just out of range, and their feet start to creep forward. Right, and they practice. This is part of the style, right? It's the way they practice. They creep the feet. They creep the feet. So you get this kind of shuffling of the feet, right? And they practice part of the style. They know they're doing it, but it's actually it's kind of a nice thing. But there's an Aikido teacher that also does this. But if you think about your range, is actually from the back leg, right? So all your range is coming from the back leg. This front foot settled. I can't go any further. But if I adjust the back leg, it's going to shift my range, right? So my back leg kind of determines my reach in a sense, in this simplistic sense. So in this case, what I don't want to be is like here, out, and then my range is actually gone. So I need that back leg needs to be in a position where I can really press into it to find that motion. So you don't want to be, in this case, too wide with the legs, basically, with the sword that way. And then that shift back, I need to either do two things. I need to shift back into the leg, or I need to adjust the leg to do it, right? And I don't really want to do either. I just want to basically arrive in a position where I can just press into it and move with it. Right? So that's the kind of point in this exercise, but just allow yourself to really just play with that back leg. So where the back leg lands determines basically my reach or my range. So if it's wide up, it's going to pull me out. So I need this to be a bit closer. And now coming into wide. So you're playing actually with two foot positions in this case. You're going hanmi, hitoemi, when in this case, the hanmi is quite narrow. It's a narrow hanmi. Yeah. Oh, we got to number 6. Not bad. Okay, very good. We'll continue these tomorrow. So we'll look through the whole set, and we've only got 2 more that we didn't do. So we'll look at this. Great. Domo arigato.
Domo arigato. Thank you.
Great. Here we go.